going on, guys? Wildman here. You can call me Willie, and welcome to Mastering Modern Warfare, Episode 1. In this series, we're going to be discussing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, and Modern Warfare 3 gameplay. Each episode is going to break down a single gameplay footage in order to better understand map knowledge, gun knowledge, and the most important part is the teammates that we're playing against, the players, the human element to these games. I find that to be the most challenging part of these games, so we're going to do our best to try and break down what we can do to be a better player. Alright, let's get started. Today we're going to be discussing village gameplay. This is going to be demolition. A few points of reference that I want to talk about. The defensive spawn point is going to be in the upper left-hand corner, and the offensive spawn point is going to be in the bottom middle. Demolition remains pretty consistent for their spawn point, so keep that in mind here. 3 points of reference on the map that we want to keep in mind and try to avoid at all costs. One is the B-bomb site. There's a lot of traffic that happens on that bridge that we want to avoid. The second is going to be this bird's nest, as I like to call it. Try to avoid that at all costs because there's so many lines of sight to that. And that brings me to my last point of reference here, which is the truck. There's so many ways that filter towards that truck, so many ways to look down upon that area. Try to avoid it at all costs. You will notice that I get most of my deaths in that position. So, one of those learning experiences for me. Let's talk about my class setup before the game gets started here. I am going to be running the SCAR, dual attachments, so silencer and red dot. It's kind of my go-to class. Well, at this point when I was playing. Dual FMGs, my goal is not to play with difficult guns, but to play with guns that are going to make me a better player. Sorry. I am running the assault package with Predator missile, attack chopper, and Reaper. Those are my 3 go-tos. You will notice here that I led this check with a nade. That's one thing that you're going to want to avoid. The beginning part of this game is a bit boring. I do watch that B-bomb site a little bit more than I probably should have. The reasoning behind that is because consistently playing this game, I have noticed that the B-bomb site is the easier one to take when you're on offense. So I did notice that I should probably watch that first. It's at about this point when the bomb gets planted that I realized this enemy team is going to be pushing A. It comes down to understanding what the enemy team is doing. Map knowledge is only going to get you so far, but being able to predict what the enemy team is doing, for example, what I'm doing around this corner, I understand that the team is pushing very heavily. So I gain this left side composure, try to let these guys filter around. Hopefully they don't see me. And at this point, I'm trying to decide what I want to do next. So one of my first mistakes of this game is that I push around this corner, I get a kill, and I should understand that the enemy team is going to be pushing this wall. Unfortunately, that's where I make my mistake. I should have been backing up. I should have actually taken a position where I was able to overwatch the bomb instead of pushing that corner so hard. And that really comes down to understanding what the enemy team is going to be doing. So I take out that first guy, and here's what I don't understand, or what I didn't understand in the moment, is that there's at least 4 other enemy teammates coming around that corner, or at that truck. That's one of the first points that I want you to look out for. The second here is that I push back towards the A bomb site. We are playing an objective game, so it is important to try and look over that bomb site, but you do see that I have a Predator missile in my back pocket. I should have backed up from this position and actually dropped the Predator earlier instead of at this point. I do get a double kill, but at the same time, I would have avoided a death if I would have just taken a step back and tried to avoid that. Tried to avoid that death, understand what the enemy team was going to be doing. One thing you'll notice here is I did learn from my mistake at the beginning of the game, where instead of going for that revenge kill, I slowed down, I pulled out my stun, and I was able to get an assist there. I do throw a secondary stun, which is a pretty common practice in my book. It might be one thing that I'll try and learn from here. A couple of notes is I do see that my team has been pushing A very hard. We do realize that the enemy team has been pushing A, so I wanted to go and try and hold down the fort at B as best as I possibly could. Now, since the game was getting started, I did decide to kind of push my boundaries and push into their spawn a little bit further than I should have, which is okay to do, especially when you know that you do have the win. My goal is to be more of an objective player than it is to be a slayer. I fit in that role of an objective player more. My KD isn't as important as it is for, I guess, some other people. A couple of things you're going to notice here. I do have a terrible pre-nade. I was going for that B bomb site, and you'll actually notice in a second that that would have been a perfect nade, so I'm able to pick up that guy on B. That's a couple of things. So when I talked at the beginning of the game, that was that B bridge. That's where snipers and people with assault rifles will try to hold down the fort right there. It's not a good line of sight. I'm really able to come around that Jeep and be able to pick that guy up. And that brings me to my third mistake that I made in this game. What you're going to notice here is that I push way too far into the enemy team's spawn. I'm not aware of what's going on to the left of me or to the right of me. And I'm definitely not taking a good position of cover. So that's what you're going to notice here. Let's take another look at it. Let's back this up. As I come around the corner, what's happening is I'm not aware of, to my left is the enemy team spawn, and to my right is the B bomb site. I should know that the enemy team is going to be planted at that B bomb site. We haven't controlled this area of the map. I haven't taken the time to slow it down, understand where these guys are going to be coming from. This part of the game is where I really feel like I shined. I was able to analyze what the enemy team was doing. I was able to understand where we were pushing as a team, and know that the enemy team is probably going to be pushing with them. A couple things, assault rifles, you do want to kind of tap that trigger, especially at range. So what you're going to notice here is I take my time, I push up to that A bomb site, I watch my corners, and I'm able to actually get this plant off in a pretty easy manner. I want to talk in this part of the video about being unpredictable. That's a key to Call of Duty gameplay, is understanding what the enemy team is doing and what you can do to counter it. So a couple of points, a couple of just tips of knowledge I can share with you. If you stare into their spawn point, they won't spawn there. So you'll notice that I keep staring around this corner, staring at where the enemy team should be spawning. And at this point, I try to just wait it out. I wait a second, I face away from the enemy team spawn, and let them spawn. And I'm able to pick up this kill here. And after I get that kill, remember I do have a silenced weapon, so I can be a little bit more aggressive around the spawn and how I run around. So coming up here in a second, what I want you to notice is that I'm going to stop talking and I want you to just kind of listen. I want you to understand that having a good set of headphones, having the right tools, is huge. So here we go. Did you guys hear that? So what I was hearing with a good set of headphones was I was listening to that guy as he ran behind me. I was able to pick up a nice double kill here, and then I make the mistake of having tactical layout on, which is what I love, but sometimes you get into situations like that. Some kills I will say are avoidable, some deaths I think are not. And here you go. Here's a nice look at that truck and why you want to avoid it. You never know. It's so unpredictable in that position, and I would rather me be unpredictable than the enemy team be unpredictable for me. That's one of those things that you really want to be aware of, is how can you understand what they're doing and be unpredictable and not let them get that upper hand. Really at this point there's not much time left in the game. You will notice that I have a predator in my back pocket that I don't want to use. I want to wait for this bomb plant to slowly get down there, and this is where I make the mistake. So I push into their spawn. I want to get a bit more aggressive, but stop. Take a look. Do you see what's happening? Let's stop this. Let's slow it down. Look at the UAV. Do you see that I'm facing away from their spawn and their enemy team has spawned behind me? That's a huge mistake. I should never have dropped this Predator missile while I was in their spawn. Now it's cool to get a nice little double kill there, but at the same time, be aware of your surroundings. You should never call in your, I guess, disattached or de-attached kill streaks, ones where you open up a computer screen, when you're in the enemy spawn like that, unless you have a good point of cover. I guess right here, this is a good example of where maybe I got the upper hand, but you want to avoid those types of interactions where it's one-to-many, just like this one here. Either way, guys, the game is finishing up. I hope you enjoy episode number 1. I had a blast playing. And leave some ratings, comments, likes. If you liked it, if you're brand new to this series, if you're brand new to me, go ahead and hit subscribe. And I will talk to you guys soon. Hopefully see you in the next couple of days or next week or so with a new game. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.